Assalamu alaikum. I am Chitra Shaheen, and today we are exploring a fascinating topic in post-colonial studies called colonial mimicry. Based on the brilliant work of theorist Homi K. Bhabha, we will look at how power, mixed feelings, and silent resistance all come together. The metaphor of mask. Think of this concept like a mask because it explores the very thin line between showing the obedience to a ruler and completely making fun of them. What is mimicry and imitation for hegemony? So, what exactly is mimicry? Historically, colonial rulers wanted to change the local people. They forced them to learn European languages, wear European fashion, and get a Western education. The goal was to create a middle class that would obey them blindly. But this plan completely backfired. When the local people successfully copied the colonial masters' behavior, it proved that Western superiority was not natural or biological. It was just an act. The passive copy turned into a mockery that disrupted the ruler's power. Homi K. Bhabha, theoretical architect of hybridity. This man right here is Homi K. Bhabha, a leading intellectual in post-colonial studies. He showed us that colonial rule is never fully stable. The empires created educated local citizens who eventually turned the master's own language and legal system into weapons for freedom. The colonial paradox of mimicry and man. Bhabha called this the colonial paradox because he famously explained that mimicry is a complex strategy and by empires to reform and control the local population while trying to show off their absolute power. The three pillars of sovereign. To understand how this works as a weapon, let's look at the three main pillars. First is imitation. The colonized person strategically copies the customs and language of the empire to survive and work within the system. Second is ambivalence. This means that the local person becomes almost the same but not quite like the ruler. This slight difference creates constant worry and an anxiety for the rulers. Third is resistance. By successfully acting like the master, the local person exposes that the master's power is just an artificial act that anyone can learn. Deconstruct the mask, the protective counter identity. Let's look behind this mask. Post-colonial mimicry acts like psychological shield. It allows the local person to protect their native culture safely on the inside while pretending to be adopted to the empire on the outside. It turns basic obedience into a quiet rebellion. The sovereign equation. Here is the master formula. Mimicry equals almost the same but not quite. By keeping a teeny bit of their own cultural identity, the person copying proves that imperial authority is just a performance, not a fact. Does this still matters today? Absolutely. We see it in a global literature where legendary authors like Chinua Achebe masterfully uses the English language to break down and critique Western imperialism. We also see it in socio-political spaces. Mimicry is still alive inside the modern international corporations, language styles, and digital culture.